day. We wake up thinking about them. We wake up having conversations with these people. We expend so much time of our life invested in conversations we never have, wishing things were different. So forgiveness dilutes that poison immediately and the thoughts go away and we get right into it. So great job. Great stuff. All right, let's get into the broker updates, 1219. And by the way, I want to start by saying to all of you, Matthew, Ellen, Nick, McGuire, myself, who do the huddles, thank you all for what you do to serve, because you come out here selflessly to give of yourselves, to think of content that can be beneficial, and you show up and you listen and you share, and you're always getting customers. Nick had 2 more apps coming yesterday. These are people who are getting it done. And so getting it done too, just yesterday, right? And so as people are doing it and living it, they have things to share and they're willing to share. They're not like, hey, it's just for me. I want to monopolize my marketplace, even from DAC brokers. No, they say, we're going to share. What Matt shared today is something that he's had to live through. That's why he wanted to share it, right? As he said, and me as well. So thank you to all the quarterbacks, but you know what else? Thanks for everyone else in the huddle, because you inspire. Every one of you speaks up and says something, inspires someone watching on the sidelines, someone sitting in the fans. You want to cheer it on. So share, please share in the chats, share, unmute yourself and share. When we say, do you want to share something, even just saying where you're calling from. But it's okay to share a struggle too, because you know what? There's a lot of people in DAC who still struggle. Even though they've smile and come on looking good and say commenting thing, they still struggle to make that call, or they still struggle to go into that appointment, or they still, hey, I don't make every free throw. Sometimes I don't even want to be on the free throw line, right? We all go through it, but as we live vulnerably and as we live transparently, there's people on here who make a lot of money doing very well, helping a lot of businesses, but there's also people who haven't made their first commission yet. And so as we come here together, we are one group. And if you're watching this broker update in recording, I'm going to encourage you, get on every huddle you can, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. It'll do more for your business than the funding training. It'll do more for your business than the comp plan understanding. Do more for your business than the certification, because everybody needs a checkup from the neck up. Everybody needs a battery recharge. It doesn't matter who you are, you recharge, right? And maybe you say, I don't need the DAC huddle recharge because I'm recharging on YouTube, or I'm recharging in my Bible, or I'm recharging in my meditation, or whatever it is. That's great. But that's a pond. That's a lake, right? That's good that you're recharged, but how much is your battery charging others? And what impact can you make when Matthew comes here and says something that someone else comments and is in tears? That's someone being a battery charger, not just getting their battery charged. And many of you can be a river rather than just be a pond. A pond receives and keeps, receives and hoards, receives and protects. Oh, I got some knowledge someone else doesn't have. Yes. And they keep it that. And you know what? That does you good. Potentially, but it doesn't serve the mind. It doesn't serve the impact. So when you give it away and you share it, it's encouraging. When you ask a question and offer advice, when McGuire talked about how he encouraged his neighbor, about how encouraging they were and how they were already encouraged, he got encouraged. Complimenting someone else is an encouragement. So be here in the huddles. This is really, really creating a culture that I'm excited about. I don't want to miss one. Even when I got a meeting, I want to move away from it. Even if I got to listen on my telephone, I want to listen on my telephone because it's inspiring. So thank you, Matt. Thank you to all the other quarterbacks. And if you want to be a quarterback and you're an example in the company, it means you're getting clients and you're following the DAC way. You understand the DAC way and you follow it. Email McGuire at davidallencapital.com. It's MAGUIRE at davidallencapital.com. And in the subject line, put Huddle QB, Huddle QB. And obviously, the people who are participating a lot in the huddle are the people we want. We don't want feedback from someone on the huddle who never attends. I think they should be shorter. I think they should be longer. I think they should be every other day. I think they should be twice a day. Whatever it is, those comments mean nothing to someone who's not in the game in the huddle. Right? So be involved and then give feedback. We'd love your feedback. All right. Couple great news things I want to share with you. First of all, let's go right through some admin stuff. Next week is Christmas week. I've heard the federal holidays are going to be changed. Wednesday through Friday will be a federal holiday that President Trump would like to honor. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after as federal holidays. So The banks, if that's the case, and I believe it's already been approved, but if that's the case, the banks will be closed those days. There'll be no funding. That means Monday and Tuesday are fundable days, right? Between now and Monday and Tuesday, you want to urge any clients, let them know if you don't get funded by Tuesday, boom, you're waiting till the following Monday, 6 days later. Some people, that could be a big, big swing in their capital and their finances and their decisions. All right. So please get the word out to anyone. You have a reason to reach out, that the banks will be closed Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. David Allen Capital is also going to be closed those days. We're going to treat it like a weekend. That means we're always monitoring for emergencies. We're monitoring for urgent issues. So we do monitor the emails, but we're not answering questions like, what's my broker ID? And, I have a question about a commission check that I got, or what do I earn if someone, we're not going to be answering those until the following week, but we will be monitoring emails Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just like we do weekends. But we wanted to reward our team with some time off as well. The corporate team, many of you take the Christmas Eve off and you go, cool, I have it. Well, we got some brokers that are support teams and funding teams that we want to offer that to as well. If the banks are open, the funding will be open. Okay. So if the banks are open, funding will be open. We always go with we're always open the same amount of days or even more. And keep in mind, your funding application is open 24/7. It never closes. Your cash register, your impact maker is your website application. That's your impact maker. That's your community service site. That's where you go out and help businesses in your community that others can't help. You do it right then. When the banks are closed, they can't apply. And even if they can, they probably can't get approved. 90% of them can't. But we've got a impact making cash register, impact making service site ready 24/7 for your clients. Look at it that way. We can give them comfort. And so just know that, but keep in mind, Monday and Tuesday, they should expect are the only days of funding next week, because I believe the federal holiday trumps any state holidays, which literally trumps, which means the banks would be closed. Okay. And no funding no ACHs can happen. No fundings can happen. All right. So that's the first book of business. Also, Monday and Tuesday huddles, Christmas theme. Ugly sweater, wear it. Santa hat, wear it. Come out to the huddle with videos on, and let's show up and have almost like we're having a Christmas party. Remember in school when you were a little kid and you went to elementary and all the teachers were dressed for the season? If it was Halloween, they had costumes on. If it was Christmas, they wore their Christmas sweaters and decorated their classrooms for Christmas. And you made, things you hung on the walls for Christmas. So, hey, let's Christmas out next week. All right, let's Christmas out Monday and Tuesday huddle. There will be no huddles Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No huddles Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We've got some treats we're working on for you, but there'll be no huddles Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So next week, Monday, Tuesday huddle, and then we don't do any more until the following week. Okay. However, I would encourage all of you to find an elf, a buddy a buddy of yours that you can communicate with on those days. I just texted several people who texted, hey, Nick, great job, man. Great job texting your team and reminding them the huddle's starting. Great job. And great job, Marquita, for responding. And great job to all the others who texted their teams. I haven't responded to all of you, but I'm in a text chain with all Dexter. I saw yours yesterday. By the way, I know I haven't responded, but thank you for the text, everybody who've included me into your text group, into your citywide meeting. And I love the interaction. So interact, use it to interact. And that's one of the things I have on my broker updates, but I'll get to that in a minute. What I want to do is I want to share my screen for a moment, and I'm hoping this share is okay. So bear with me 1 minute while I open something up. And I want to make sure I've got a certain screen up that I show, and I want to make sure you all see it. So let me get back to share my screen. I may not be able to. I've got so many things open that I may not be able to show it. Going to give it one more try, and then I'm going to go with it. Okay, desktop. Okay, so you see that screen there?
Yep, we can see it.
See that? Okay, beautiful. We are in beta mode for the bankbreezy.com site, beta mode Spanish. This is not the David Allen Capital site. This is Bank Breezy only. Beta mode meeting, it's already live. Look, English, see the flag up here? English, Espanol. Boom. Okay. It's already there. Now you notice that I'm going to close some of my windows here. You notice that um, when you switch the browser, it tries to tell you, well, it did on my first one. It said, your site's in Spanish. Would you like it translated? Because it knows my language is English. But this site is already live. If you click on apply now, Spanish speaking person, it's all Spanish. As they go through all these questions, everything's in Spanish. All right. As they go through here and enter and keep moving, it's all Spanish. The status updates they get from Bank Breezy, all Spanish. The team that works on it in our back office, all Spanish. So the reason we say beta is because there's still some translation in the emails happening. They've already been translated by one group. We're looking at another group. So we're still fine tuning. We've got Selena is our primary contact person inside the corporate team who's doing Spanish discussions, Selena. So I just wanted to show you this because you're going to see it on your site. Bank Breezy only, not DAC, not DAC, Bank Breezy only. So if you have Spanish speaking clients, you can send them right there. Okay. So bankbreezy.com/your ID number. So I'm not going to put my ID number in. You're seeing a bunch of IDs on there. So I'm just going to leave it off, but you put your ID number there and I'll put my mom's Bank Breezy E10. That's my mom's, I think. And Bank Breezy must not have been my mom's. Sorry. E100161. Mom, okay. 161. That's my dad's. Okay. So my dad's site, you can see it's there replicated. If you go to Spaniel, boom. ES. Now, what happens if you do ES? You want to send them right to your Spanish site, E100129. You send them right to the Spanish site. You can do that. It changed. So you can send them. If you want to send them right to the Spanish site, see what's on the top there? bankbreezy.com/ES/your ID number goes right to the Spanish site. So if you have someone you want to send to your Spanish site directly, I'm going to put it into the chats. You send them here with your ID number on the end. Okay. ES. That's Espanol. Otherwise, you just send them to bankbreezy.com/. So if you've got someone Spanish speaking, you can send them right to bankbreezy.com/ES/ID number. Now, this is still in beta mode. It's not in your welcome letters yet. It's not in the funding training yet. Just you guys are here on the broker update, so you now know this is beta, means it's already live, but we're fine tuning and we still have to update a lot of welcome letters and things like that, right? So there's the site, bankbreezy.com/ES, and you get did I stop sharing? Okay, cool. We are done sharing, right? No, not yet. Now stop sharing.
Now we are. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I got so many different things up on my screen. Okay, so that's the thing I wanted to share there. Is Tyler listening in right now? Do you know?
I know he's not on. No, he was
Okay,
wrapped
cool.
up.
All right. But I will tell you that everything is live on the back end as well. And Selena is the person who'll be talking to everybody. So know that. And there will be more. We have multiple in the team actually, but Selena's the one taking lead. Okay. Also, not now, but in the very near term, you're going to see the resource center look completely different. And it's all going to be housed in the LMS, in the learning management system. So right now, the LMS only has certification and it has compensation plan training. It now has business funding training, but it's not a quiz yet. It's basically our business funding training that we had is put in the LMS as a course now. So that's where they find it because we want all trainings in the LMS. We will have a recruiting team building training in the LMS, and there'll be courses. So trainings will be courses, resources will be print documents, stuff like that. Okay. So the resource center is going to feel a lot more plain when you go there because we're stripping away all the training videos and trainings. And those are going to be courses that you'll look on the course list. Everyone say to themselves, course list. Thank you. Course list is where you'll get the trainings. Resources is where you'll get things like a print brochure or a PDF or a logo, right? It's resource, not a training. You won't get a training under resources. You'll get training under courses. Resources will be just resources. All right. That's going to be going live in the near term. We've already been going through it. We just want to fine tune a couple more things, but it's already built into the LMS and we're working on it. So I say that because when we pull the trigger, you're going to be like, whoa, what's this? Okay. And when we pull the trigger, it's just going to go live. And DAC RC will point to it. Or if you go to dactraining.com, the LMS, you'll see all of a sudden resources and you go, cool. And the current resources page will go bye-bye. Okay. So that's going to be happening in the near term. Our goal was to get it live for today, but there's a couple changes we want to make yet. So it's that close. All right. And maybe next, hopefully by the first of the year, it's already a done deal. But can't promise that because you never know what comes up, but that's part of the plan. So the good news is we're working on that, and when it's live, it'll just show up. The funding training that you see there now is basically our current funding training put in as a course. We are going to be improving that, and it's going to be updated in sections with quizzes. Right now, there's no quizzes. It's just video course. There will be quizzes and not certifications, but grading to pass, just like there will be in the team building. There will be in the local leader course. So local leader course, team building, comp plan, and a funding training will all be courses with kit quizzes. Right now, they're just courses. Okay. So stay tuned for more to develop there. We're really excited about getting all those live so we can pull the trigger on just expansion. Okay, LMS. This holiday season, as should be the case every week, do what Nick was doing just now before the event. He texted his small area group for one team, his small area group for another. His small area group said, Huddle's about to go live. Look forward to seeing you guys there. These are people who said they're going to be local leaders, right? This is the local leader text list. You may have a different text list, but he's following precisely what we did in the plan. One of the checklists is have a text communication channel with your team that wants to lead your local market with you, right? And so he's got a text group for one city and another text group for another city. And yeah, it's a lot to manage, but when you're overriding 3 cities, you may have 3 groups to text, right? So stay on top of that. And then get the communication going as much as you can. Encourage people, remind them of this as I do in my texts. Whatever city they say they're leading or live in, their competitive advantage is local. So you can ask them, how many businesses, who are you reaching out to? Does Shreveport, Louisiana know about you yet, Lisa? Okay, Lisa, how many businesses in Shreveport know that you're their funding girl? Let's keep getting the news out. Let's keep local. Shreveport's too big. What part of Shreveport? The Southeast corridor. Okay, great. The Southeast, do they know yet? There's 700 businesses in in 3 square miles. Let's make sure all 700 of them know who you are, right? So that's all you need. You got 1,000 businesses locally know who you are. You're making a probably $200,000 a year on your local market just in personal commissions, just because you have a few hundred businesses know who you are, because they're all going to get funding. Many of them are going to get funding every year, and renewals, et cetera, et cetera. So beat the pants off the competition by building local. Can't beat it. All right. So, Matthew, during the thing, you said something I've never heard. Forgiveness takes you from victim to author. Loved it. I wrote that down. I will be using that because authors create their future. Victims are created by someone else's future, and it does allow you to be. So I wanted to comment on that because it leads into what I'm going to talk about next. You can be the author of your business, DAC, in your town. You get to write the story, not David Rutz. You get to write the story, and some authors never pick up the keyboard. So their story is never written. It goes to their grave with them. The story, the kids' books, the Christian book, the whatever, the meditation book, the motivation book, the business development, the health care book, whatever it is you have in your mind that you know the world can use. If you never hit the keyboard, it's never recorded and it's forgotten. You may be remembered. You may even be missed, as McGuire was talking about. But how many generations remember you? Document it, create the story, right? So, all that to say, we are at a place in time, and I'm coming down to the last part here, that your local market is open right now. The story is written uh, in some markets, but not most. Most markets, the story isn't written. Meaning, because we've allowed people, we haven't trained local market domination or duplication. We've told you it's good to open and focus on your local market, but you're going to see all of our training is focused on local because we're seeing most of our funding comes from local. It's very hard to compete with that. And most of the people who quit are trying to do a distance building, and it's very hard. Matt and Nick can do it. They find a way because they got the guts, determination, willpower, strength, strong reason why, experience. They got each other to rub off each other and keep it going. So it's doable. Not saying don't do it, it's doable. But the easiest way for me to get clients in Seattle is to have a broker in Seattle that I take under my wing and I talk to, and we help them talk to 10 businesses, even if they give me 10 business names. Even if they give me 10 business names, and I say, Lisa, you're brand new. What business owners you know in town that I can help you? Let's three-way call them. Hey, John, you don't know me directly. I'm on the phone with Lisa. Yeah. Lisa said you're her, whatever. She sees you all the time. Your soup's the best. We're reaching out because Lisa just got started in our company as a business funding broker. She just became certified with us, but I'm responsible for helping her train and understand the system. And we just wanted to inform you what we do. That we're in business funding. We come along and help when the banks can't. So Lisa's online as well, but we just want to let you know what we do. Is it okay if we send you some information in case we can ever help you in the future? Lisa's not going to have that conversation maybe if Lisa's afraid, but I just did. Now Lisa has her first referral potential. At least she's got someone she can send information to. So that's how you open Seattle, not by a lead list in Seattle. You find someone who wants to be a broker in Seattle, who wants to knock it out, and then you help train them a little bit, and then they're doing that on their own. So I'm going to just ask you this as we bring this home. This is a checkup from the neck up and then a little training. How many businesses in your local community did you network with and inform this week? And as Ellen talked about yesterday, sometimes we have to look at what needs to change. If you didn't talk to any local this week, maybe there's something unique about this week and you give yourself a pass. But if you're doing something, I'm trying to talk to businesses out of this lead list and I'm trying to call these people, you can keep doing that. But if you know you're 10 times more likely to get a client for every 10 conversations, it takes 100 conversations in the cold market, 10 in the local to get success versus 100, right? So we know 40 business owner conversations in your local is a funding. 40 conversations over the phone is maybe 3 people, 4 people who might have an interest in talking to you again, right? Where 40 local conversations is a funding. So if you're trying to go swim upstream, swim, you're an independent broker. But I would ask you how much local work. Now, next thing is what can you do to change that? As Ellen said, I signed up to our Huron Valley Referral Network. Huron Valley Referral Networks, this is one of the things that they have a referral sheet. Every week we get together Wednesday morning and you purposely say, hey, I want to refer you. This is my friend Michael. Call him. He owns Oconee Island, David. Call him. Let him know I told you to call and let him know you're in funding. And because I know he's been wanting to have a second location. Hey, Leo, you don't know me directly, but John is part of my Chamber of Commerce. When John said you got one location, you're thinking about going to 2. And he knows what kind of funding we do. We're in a networking group together and he believes in what we're doing. He told me I should reach out to you. You know, John? Yeah, I know John. Great, Leo. Well, so tell me that. I just want to tell you more. So referrals happen. So that's one of the things I did. I joined the local chamber and I got active in my local chamber. I've been a member for 5 years, wasn't active. Not only that, I'm reaching out to 10 new chamber members every single day and introduce. The goal is 10 a day. I'm not doing it every day. That's a goal. But at least do 2. My minimum is 2. My goal is 10. Reach out to 2 new chamber members every day and introduce myself and get to know about their business, not tell them about mine, get to know about their business, see how I might be able to help them. And of course, I inform them of my business. How long does it take me after the course of a year? If I do 2 minimum a day, I got 750 business owners who know I care about them. What does that do to funding? You want to dominate, monopolize your marketplace local? So here's the list of things. If you're not already doing it, here's what you can do. Number one, texting people locally in your local community, calling people locally in your local community, emailing people local in your local community, walking in and talking to them in your connect canvassing, care canvassing. Canvassing means you cover a market, cover an intersection with a care conversation. It's not a cold conversation. It's not a selling conversation. Perspective management is success management. You're not going in cold, you're going in caring. You're not canvassing because you got to get numbers. You're canvassing because you know that there's business owners out there who don't know about our funding type and they need to know about it. You care about them. You're serving them. You're educating them. Now you're not trying to get a funding out of them. You're trying to educate and concern and show them you got a solution if ever they need it. And then making sure they understand that you're there to help their business, not just with funding, but you want to know more about them and give them a Facebook shout out, right? Give them a attaboy. Take a picture in their store and put it up on their Facebook and say, I just met Leo, the owner of Leo's Coney Island. What a great guy. They got great chili fries, man. Give it a try. Their service is great. Their place is always impeccably clean. Come give it a shout. Leo's going to thank you. He knows you're not just trying to get a commission. So many people are selling in our company. Not in our, we teach otherwise, but so a lot of people don't, but so many people are in sales instead of education and informing. Meet, greet, inform. That's what you do. The outcome will take care of itself. The person who does that better. So not only live walk-in, but canvas as a customer. Canvas as a customer, you know what that means. If you're in there having soup, introduce yourself to the owner. Or if the owner's not in, just ask, is the owner in right now? I'd love to meet them. What's their name? No, they're not in. Okay, what's their name? Johnny. Johnny, great. How long's Johnny owned it? Wow, beautiful. Be curious. Ask the server some questions. Right? Is Johnny's wife involved too? No, no, Johnny's single. Okay, cool, beautiful. How long you worked with Johnny? Oh, that's beautiful. That's every time they deliver something new, ask something else. Let's all just have some conversations. And then you know more about Leo's Coney Island when you leave there than you did when you got there. Be neighborly, basically. Be neighborly. The same way you ask your neighbor about their kids, the same way you ask your neighbor about their parents or where they grew up, where they went to high school. You're just curious. You just want to get to know them. Do the same thing with business owners. It's not hard. You don't have to do this with 50 people a day. You do this with a handful a day, and you refer and you sort and you share and you promote. And what happens is you become a neighborly community business focused. So Canvas as a customer, and then chamber events, networking events. I can't tell you how important they are. I know they cost money. Many chambers allow you to go in as a guest. Many chambers allow you to check them out as a guest. I wouldn't spend the money without checking them out as a guest to make sure that there's a real group of business owners. A lot of chamber events are just salespeople who are trying to get clients. They're not business owners networking. The business owners are busy building their business. A lot of them are just, a Xerox copy salesperson, a payment processing person, a business funding person. You won't see that at all, but that's what you are. So to them, you want to be more than that. I want to refer more clients than get referred to me. I want to be that type of resource. And if you go in with that mindset, you will too. So my question for you in this broker update, gave you the Spanish update, gave you the hours for next week, gave you the update in the LMS, gave you the update on the training modules, gave you the update on the replicated website for the Spanish. It's beta, but it's live. Gave you all that update. The question I have for you and we walk away is local market domination, not in a bad way, you're eradicating lack of working capital. You're eradicating it. You're bringing in a good news domination. You're bringing in a golden dome of protection. You're bringing in a solution for them to remove. You see here fast funding. It's fast funding, yes, But really what it is funding that cares about the client. It's fast, but it cares. It's led by a heart. It's not led by a commission check. It's led by a concern for that business. And the moment you can adopt that, if you haven't already, the moment you can adopt that, um, you're going to get more clients because people sense it. They can tell. I was talking to a friend last night I haven't seen in a long time, but he's in sales and he sells remodeling, bath remodeling. He said, I know if I've got the client in the first 30 seconds as a client because they either know me, like me, and believe in me and can sense something on me, or they don't. And he said, our company's closing rate is about 40% of the leads will get a kitchen remodel bath. He's at 80 to 90%. And the only thing he looks at is I don't go in there to sell them, to upsell the glaze, this or that. I go in there, my first moment talking to them. Now they called, they want to know more. They already want a bathroom. I'm not there to sell them a bathroom. I'm there to build a relationship and give them calm and peace with working with my company. I'm not there to give them features and benefits of the faucets and the tile yet. The first 2 minutes, they either have calm and peace with me or they don't. And if they don't, it doesn't matter how good our construction company is, it comes behind me because it's the same person doing the other salespeople's construction. Why is his rate double? Because they know, like, and trust him. So don't go in trying to sell a funding. You won't sell any. Don't go in trying to, I mean, you can canvas hundreds of people and get a client, but we can't express this enough. But man, when I hear people talking, it's like they hear this and ignore it. They think that's below me. They think it's below them. They think it's, oh, you're a whiny, you're too soft, Dave. You're too soft. And I'm not saying any of you believe that, but if you want to grind and make commissions, I'm paid in the pay plan. I make more than anyone in this company. And I'm paid in the pay plan. I'm not paid as a DAC president. I don't take a salary. If you want to grind income, if you want to grind your retirement, if you want to have more and more, if you don't know yet that Relevate has a maximum bank account size, then you haven't grinded enough. They have a maximum bank account size, 75 grand. You got to get rid of it if it's above 75. So all I can say to you is, I promise you, if you want to grind, you're not going to do well. But if you want to make an impact, you're going to do very well. So go out there and lead with the impact and watch the commissions chase you down. But if you lead with just numbers, okay, I got my 20 list. I got to call those 20. I got to inform them those 20. That is what we do. But if you instead say, I'm going to go out and care about these 20 businesses, and it's my responsibility to make sure they know when it comes to alternative working capital, we got the best solution, and I'm going to educate them that I'm here locally to help them, and I got their back. And when you do that with 20, that's easy. It's easy for me to reach out to 2 and find out about their business and refer them to people when I can. Tyler, I reached out to Tyler. He's not on, but Tyler, have you already picked out your wedding banquet company? Because I just met someone who's a caterer and they do weddings. I want to introduce you to him. You know what that caterer said? Because I did it right in front of her. I texted right in front of her. That caterer's like, thank you. Wow. She was blown away. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You're a catering company. Why wouldn't I tell someone who needs catering about you? Right? So are you doing that? Because it's not just to do it. It's because I really want that business owner to succeed. Our funding is just part of it. So adopt the caring like you're a doctor over someone's health. You're a naturopathic physician over someone's health. You don't want to just plug medicine in them. You want to get them healed. You want to give them natural ways to get off the medicine. Well, we want to give them natural ways to grow their business too. And usually that's sales more than money. Usually that's referrals more than just funding. So we give them the funding, but the funding means nothing if they don't have a business that's built right and growing right. So it doesn't matter if you give them blood pressure medication. If you're not also talking to them about their diet, and if you get A, B, and C, you're probably going to come off your blood pressure medication. So let's do A, B, and C while you're medicating. Let's get you off. It's the same thing. We'll get you funding, but while we're getting you funding, have you thought about boom, 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 boom? Have a great, curious conversation with them. If someone says to me, Dave, have you ever thought about doing this in your funding? I don't go, don't you think I know my business? Don't you think I know my business? Are you kidding me? Who do you think you are? You don't even know my company. I'm grateful that they're even curious about my company. Have you thought about partnering with banks? Of course I have, right? Yeah, we have. In fact, we have some banks who refer. Thank you. That's awful sweet of you to even be considering how we're helping people. It shows their involvement. So, local market, how can you do more of that this week? And don't wait till after Christmas, even if you have to do one a day because you're so busy. You can give yourself one a day. Today, before you hit the bed, make sure you've reached out to one local business minimum today. Don't go to bed tonight. Even if you set goals in the past and didn't hit them, do not go to bed tonight without reaching out. If it's got to be an email, then it's an email. Subject line, something about being local. I drove by your restaurant today. That subject line's getting opened. Business capital today, not getting opened. They're already getting hundreds of those from the New York team and the Miami team working for these hundreds of lenders. They're already sending emails and targeted campaigns, but drove by your place today, saw your ad in the Monthly Shopper today, had a cup of soup at your restaurant today. That's getting open. So this is fun because you're not selling, you're not trying, you don't, the outcome doesn't matter. The outcome does not matter. The outcome will follow the right behavior. If you're not getting the results you want right now, focus on the behavior. Local market, monopolizing that marketplace means you have no competition because you've done it right. Do it right and you'll kick butt. Do it right and you'll make $250,000 a year easily. Do it right and you'll make significant money. Do it right, right in your town. And aim small, miss small. As a marksman says, you got to aim small and miss small. Don't aim at just the red. You aim at a little spot in the red. And if you barely miss, you're still in the red. You don't aim at Michigan. You don't even aim at Milford. You aim at Main Street and Williams until everyone at Main and Williams knows my name. And then you move out to Main Street and John Street. And then you move out. Aim small, miss small. That means miss small means talk to them all. And don't move off of that Main Street and Williams until you've met them all. And you've helped them all. You know more about them. Now you got 7 businesses now who know your name. Come on now. They're referring you to people. Now you move that. Now there's 14 businesses who know your name. It's a long play, but it's like growing an apple orchard. Once it's built, you got fruit every year without having to open more orchards. One town with 1,000 businesses and you're making $250,000 a year. It'll take you 4 years for 1,000 to know who you are. But why think about San Diego when you live in Ypsilanti, Michigan? If you got a broker in San Diego, let's do it. But until then, Ypsilanti, Michigan is your town and not all of it, the one little part. And then the little bigger part. Guys, that is the formula to dominate, to monopolize the marketplace, to create a moat. Distance building is a lane, it's a vehicle. Online building's a lane, it's a vehicle. But guess what? There's people spending hundreds of millions of dollars to advertise and do that to compete with you. You run an ad, Net2Biz, SoFi, Bluevine, all these companies, they're negative. You run an ad for funding. As soon as someone types in your name, they got 4 other companies that are $100 million companies advertising to them too. Likeness. Why do it? Bluevine can't do a thing in Milford, Michigan, unless someone types in bluevine.com from Milford. Well, they're not going to type that in if they know David. And they're not going to type it in if they know you. So I know I've spent a lot of time on this, and some of you might be going, he's going long, but the people saying that are the ones who aren't building local. You don't see the value in what I'm saying. You're not making money commissions, and you think I'm going long talking about local too much, yet you're not doing it. So if you're watching this on video and you think the value of this is low because you've decided I don't believe that and I'm focused on being a social influencer, go do it. Just don't teach it until you prove it works. I see every funding. I see every application. I tell you how Matt and Nick can do it over the phone because they're pros and they teach it, But how many people have they found who can do the same thing as them? Not a lot, because it's hard to do it just over the phone. It's doable, but it's hard. So, but local, everyone. Cheryl, pick you. Cheryl, come on now. I congratulate her on that funding, a local funding. She goes, yeah, I got another one doing $120,000 a month applying next week. How does she know that? Because she talked to them. It's not some cold call. It's conversations over conversations. So, it's fun. It's a, it drives us all to the next level. And more importantly than everything, you're going to build relationships that some of them will become your potentially your best friends. They're entrepreneurs. Business owners are entrepreneurs. They love being going for it and doing their thing. And you're going to meet people like that. Some of them will become great buddies of yours that you'll have coffee with and just strategize business together. I've got a meeting next week. I told you that, with a guy who owns a glove manufacturing company, motorcycle gloves. And he just moved into golf, and he's moving into other types of gloves on auto ship for kids sports. He's like, I want to talk to you because you've done auto ship in the past. So we're sitting down and just breaking bread and discussing. And if he needs funding, who's he going to go to? Who do you think he'll use for funding? If we're talking about something unrelated to funding, he's becoming a friend. 2 meetings, he's now a friend. And we're sitting down having a coffee. So be that, be the encourager, be the social impact maker in your local town. The smaller you can make that target, the better. Someone says to me, I'm Indianapolis, Indiana. Okay, great. What part of Indianapolis are you going to monopolize? It's too broad. That's not aiming small. The Southeast, where in the Southeast of Indianapolis are you going to monopolize? You got to look that small. My town, Milford, Heartland, Highland are all 3 small towns. But if I try to do all 3, I'm not going to do any of them well. Let's take care of Milford. And then let's take care of Heartland. And then let's take care of Highland. And then let's see how that works? Okay. I know I'm beating the drum because I know this drum is what makes the best music. And I want you all doing it. And I see many aren't doing it. And the last thing I'll say, my vision includes 1,000 local leaders leading their local market with 4 to 5 fundings a week. That's 4 to 5,000 fundings a week just coming from the local leaders. That makes us the largest funding company in America for alternative capital. 1,000 people running this recipe. We don't need 20,000 running the recipe, but we do need 1,000. We had 300 people on the call the other day say they want to be local leaders, and we learned Zoom caps us at 300. That's why there were only 300. We had others who couldn't get on. We've upped our license to 500, but we're paying to do that. But to get to 1,000 of those 300 who are on, maybe 50 to 100 are really going to lead their local market. Hopefully all 300 will, but we, using human nature. So to get to 1,000 is going to take some time. We're halfway to our short-term goal for funding every week. I've got a short-term goal that I wanted to hit in 26, and we're halfway there. And we bumped it just in the last 60 days. And this local push is helping that, because renewals are almost 100% guaranteed when it's local. It's not guaranteed when it's not, because they're getting hit by other lenders after they get funding. They're now on a list who took funding. So now they're targeted. Oh, they believe in alternative capital. Let's hit them up and down. Let's hit them up and down. Let's hit them up and down. You know what prevents that? You having a local relationship. You telling them to watch out for that stuff and don't ignore it. And I'm going to end with this. Let's take it all back down to blocking and tackling. I've said a lot. You go, oh my goodness, I got to do networking. I got to know how to sit down and talk to them about their business. I got to know how to canvas as a customer. I need to go to the chamber, and I need to educate them and inform them, but don't try to get them to apply right now. And and it can sound overwhelming, right? Do you know how to be a good neighbor to someone who moves in next door to you? Do you know how to welcome them? Do you know how to get to know their family a little bit? My wife is upstairs right now, and someone just built a house next door, and they have 3 little kids. And this isn't my thing. This is her thing. She's like, I can't wait for your kids to meet my daughters. We're over there talking to them, our daughters. I'm like, our daughters are in college. Your kids are 3 or 5, 7, and 8. I don't get what my wife wants them to know them for, but my wife is like, oh, I can't wait for them to meet, and they're gonna love our daughters, and our daughters are gonna love your kids, and I think that's great. I won't say that. What are you talking about? But I would never have thought to do that. Some of you would have thought to do that. I think, hey, nice to meet you. I'm talking to him about he works for Rocket Mortgage. She's an attorney. He's an attorney at Rocket Mortgage. We're talking business. We're talking Rapid Finance because it's one of our lenders, and he's an attorney for them. And I'm like, wow, you're right next door. I'm David Allen Capital. We live in the same neighborhood. This is cool. Maybe we can have some meetings together and blah, 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 blah. She's talking about her kids meeting her kids. And she says, now, David, don't eat those cookies I made. Those are for the neighbors. I'm looking at them going, where are my cookies? Right. She's got cookies for the neighbors. She's being neighbor. She cares about serving them. They're brand new to the neighborhood. Right. So I care about too. I'm like, hey, can I help you with your driveway? You don't have a shovel yet. You got a bunch of snow. Can I help? No, we're good, Dave. Thanks. So I'm offering help too, but I don't think the relationship side for my kids and her kids. That's the part I missed. Some of you are better at being neighborly than me. Some of you are being better at neighborly. You don't need training on that. How to be neighborly. That's how. What do you do with your neighbor business that you've got something called alternative capital for them? You just inform them. And it's okay if you say, I really don't know everything. I'm a new broker, but we've helped thousands of businesses. And I just want you to know I'm local here, and I'm a certified broker now, and I can get you whatever you need. So I've beaten the dead horse, hopefully alive. And I've also given resuscitation for anyone who's on their last breath. And if I've turned someone off for talking too long about this, hopefully you'll get a headache, and you'll be later on going, why do I have a headache? Maybe because what he's saying is, I don't want to do it, but I know it's the best way. Maybe I got to learn how to do it. I share what I believe to attract people who believe what we believe, because they'll do what they believe in. If you don't believe in this, figure out another way to do it, but I can't promise it'll work. I can't promise it'll work. It may, but it's going to be harder than what we're talking about. So lead local, make an impact local. You'll make a lot of money local and help other cities do the same. Long way. What do you got? Who's got something they want to, any questions on anything covered today about Spanish, about the hours, about the LMS, about texting, setting up texting for your team, or how to step into your local market and talk to at least one today? It's in addition to the play that Matt gave you about Forgiven. Anyone got something? Who's got something?
We got some hands up. We got Deborah. You can go ahead.
Okay, so this isn't to touch on the subjects. And I just want to say there's a gentleman I spoke with yesterday. His name is John Snyder. I
Yeah.
gave him an invitation to be at the huddle this morning. So, John, if you're here, I just want to welcome you. Our team welcomes you because I know who they are, how they are. So, that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Deb. And thanks for inviting someone. And John, if you're here, congrats. Welcome. Glad you're here. You're working with Deborah. Great gal. Thank you. Who else has got something? Thank you, McGuire, for leading.
Yep.
Thanks,
And
Deb.
then Michael is next. Go ahead, Michael.
Okay, did I unmute? All right, sounds like
did.
it did. I have a scenario question. It's looking at a line of credit maybe, or even a loan for $5 million, whatever it is. He's a very successful developer, probably has 4 EINs for projects that throw off revenues.
Yep.
He may even be liquid, a couple million is what he said, but he has a property that he needs to get quick financing on. We're looking for something that could work. We do have an option, but I did not want to overlook this opportunity.
Yeah. So again, you're already certified, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you understand our funding numbers. We, 1 to 2 times the current monthly revenue. If they great credit, we don't take collateral. So bank funding's always going to be cheaper if they're willing to give up collateral, because the bank can take that property away if they don't pay, right? We don't have collateral. It's not required on the front end. There's always some risk, but so yeah, we can help get them money based on their monthly revenue, of course.
So
So
times two. Okay, yeah, he's been sold 12% in 5 points on $5 or $6 million. So
okay.
that's what I'll be trying to place
Yeah,
on
so
commercial real estate.
12% at 5 years is 1.38. He's going to pay back how much money did you say?
Let's say 5 million.
So he'll pay 5 million times 1.38. He'll pay about 1.9 million, 1.5 times multiplied by 1.38. So 38, 380 plus 170. So $510,000, 380 plus 170 for $550,000 he'll pay in interest over those 5 years on 1.5. And if he pays it off early, he'll pay a penalty. So that's pretty good, right? He may, on 1.5 with us, he may pay back a little less. But he'll
800
have to pay,
score.
so he'd pay back less, but he'd have to pay it back inside of 2 years. So does he need more time? Does he need the time to pay it, or does he want less time? Because if he wants to pay it off inside of 2 years, the bank is going to gouge him for paying it off early. We don't. In fact, if he pays it off in 60 days, his interest is only pays for 60 days, where the bank makes you pay, you're agreeing to pay back, 500, whatever that number was that I said, I forget the math.
Yeah, the takeout would be institutional. He'll be done with this money in 8 months. I'd
So
probably say 8 to 12 just because.
Yeah. So imagine a bank giving you a 5-year loan, your payment's lower, but if you pay it off inside of 5 years, you got to pay a penalty. With us, we give you a 2-year loan. If you pay it off in 8 months, you get a discount. And so if he's only going to keep it less than 2 years, we're going to be, and we're going to cost less money. But month one, he'll pay more with us. Month two, he'll pay more. Month three, we'll pay more because we don't give him a 5-year term. We give him a 2 year. So he'll pay more up front. But if he pays it off in 8 months, he's done paying. He'll pay a lot less with us.
And the line of credit is still tied to the monthly deposits?
It is. Line of credit is maxed out, though. He won't get as much money on a line of credit. He would have to get a funding for what he's looking for. He would have to get a funding, but based on his credit and his time in business and his industry, he's probably eligible for our core rate funding, which would be 1.15 to 1.25 times what he gets, not 1.38 like the bank. And if he pays it off early, he doesn't have to pay all that interest. He only pays off for how long he's had it, kind of like a line of credit. Right?
When you say 138, it's 138%.
At a bank, 12% over 5 years is equivalent to 138%. Yeah. You pay back. That's not interest. That's your total payback is 138.
Yeah, the solution I have would probably be about the same.
Yeah. So with us, imagine with us, it's 1.25. So he's instead of 1.38, he's paying 1.25 times. So we're cheaper than the bank because he doesn't need it for 5 years. So why pay a 5-year interest when you don't need it for 5? We would give it to him shorter. And if he pays it off in 60 days, let me give you a real quick 100,000 example. 100,000 agree for a year. We'll just use a year so you get the concept. 100,000 for a year, paying back 125. Okay. So he's paying off 125,000 in a year for 100,000. He gets his 100 grand. He's charged a 2% fee up front. So he only gets 98,000. The bank made that no matter what. He pays it off tomorrow, he only owes 100,000. So he doesn't owe a penalty. If he keeps it for a month, he's paying payments for a month. And if he pays it off in a month, what does he owe on the balance? 97,000. He only has to pay 97,000 and he's done. He doesn't have to pay all the interest. So that's our 100% discount product. You pay a fee up front, 2.5%, I think it is. It's deducted from your deposit. The bank makes that no matter what. You get your commission. And then if he pays it off early, he doesn't pay any, whatever he's paid thus far is all he pays. He only pays the principal off. Bank, you pay off the principal and a penalty. So I would just say the core rate is his product. You can read it on our website more. You can email us separately if you need to talk about it more. But is it clear what I've shared?
Yeah, no, unambiguous. Yeah.
Good. Good.
Way I like
right.
it.
All right. Beautiful. And I love that backdrop in
stuff.
your screenshot there. What city is that?
That is man, if I can only remember.
Okay.
It's Europe. It's
Okay. Somewhere in Europe.
Yeah.
I like all
Yeah.
the boats. Somewhere near
Next
the
to
ocean.
Ukraine. So,
Okay.
not
All
too
right.
far from
Beautiful.
Ukraine. Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, glad to have you on the team. We're happy to help you. And if you need, reach out to Wade and he can talk to that client with you as well.
Cool. Thanks,
All
sir.
right.
Yeah.
Who else we
Alrighty, good
got?
stuff. We got Precious up next. Go ahead, Precious.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to the team for updating the Spanish content for us. And I wanted to say about David, when you talked about educating more than selling, I
Mhm.
was on a call that I was thinking that I was getting educated on a service solution for business. And in the call, I was being, he was trying to sell me the product. And it was just a total turnoff. And I've never felt like I could be sold anything because if I'm in the market of getting it, that's what I'm gonna go for. So just
Mhm.
being educational is my drive, and that's what I'm reaching towards. So thank you for the confirmation on that.
Amen. Amen.
Good stuff,
Thank
Precious.
you.
Then we got Harlequin. Go ahead, Harlequin.
You joining, Harlequin?
I've sent a couple messages to unmute. We'll see.
And her screen was off, so maybe we lost her.
Okay. In the meantime, we'll go to Walt. Go ahead, Walt.
Everybody can hear. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I just had a real quick question. I was on Tuesday night to be a market leader. I sent the form in, but I never received anything back. I was just wondering, there's a time limit? Are you going to put something together to send to us, or should I have received something already?
Yeah, we sent the email out Wednesday morning for all the people who opted in Tuesday night. We sent the email out Wednesday morning. So if you didn't get an email, I would check. And you signed up before Wednesday morning. If you
Mhm.
opted in after Wednesday morning, you'll get an email. We're sending a follow-up at the end of today.
Okay.
So if you signed up after Wednesday, you opted in as a local leader, you'll get an email today. But if you went Tuesday night, I would say check your promotions folder. Depends on what it's probably not in spam, but it came from support@davidallencapital.com.
Okay, I'll just wait and see if I get something in today as
All
well.
right.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks a lot.
All right. Then we got Harlequin back. Let's try it again.
Yeah, hey there. Unfortunately, just before you called on me, I lost my internet connection. So, anyways, great Zoom today. Super excited about the Spanish. That's going to be very helpful because I do know a lot of Spanish speaking people and a lot of Spanish business owners. A couple of different things. One, had a very sad thing today, a business that I did not know. It's in a town that's, half hour to an hour away. Put up a notice on Facebook that they were closing their doors. And, it's always sad to see that happen. It was a family business that had been in business for 6.5 years. And it's always sad to see that. And that's something that we can try and help them avoid.
Mhm.
So, anyways, there are businesses that need us out there, folks. So get out there. Myself, I had a slow week. I was only at 4 networking events this week. So got to get going on some of those. Although the next 2 weeks there aren't going to be any. But the other thing I wanted to point out is somebody mentioned this to me. If you improve yourself 0.3% every day, that's making one more phone call, one more contact, one more whatever. If you do that every day for a year, you improve yourself 100%. And if you continue doing that the next year, you're not improving yourself 100%. you're doubling what you were to begin with. So it's 200% and then 400% and so on and so on. So just doing a little bit more to improve every single day compounds. So just wanted to give that little tip.
Love it.
And in reference to Matt's thing of forgiveness, if you aren't able to do something, or if you don't get upset with yourself if yesterday you didn't do it, forgive yourself, because otherwise you're going to go and wallow in that and not move forward the next day. So
Yep.
anyways,
Love
but
it, Harlequin.
looking
Let me
forward
comment.
to,
Let me
Go
comment
ahead.
on that a little bit. Great stuff, by the way. And the purpose of the huddle is to give a play every day. It's not a training call. There will be some training on it, but it's really to give a play that does what you said. To go and grow by 1% or 2% a day, not a third of 1%, right? But if you're growing by 2% a day, how long does it take before you're double your game? It's a rule of 72. Divide whatever the percent is into 72. That would be 36 days. And you've already doubled your abilities if you grow by 2% a day. Grow by 1% a day, it's 72 days, right? So rule of 72 says that your money compounds and so does your abilities. As you know, you're a finance gal and you're
Yep.
IT and all that. So folks, that's why you come to get the play, to run, to try to improve your game. And that's why each coach has been asked, give a play each day. It's more important to give a play than a training. When you give a play, then train how to do it. That's fine if you got to share what to do, but it's really, okay, guys, ready, break. We're going to run the 36 out. That's all we need to do. Everyone already knows how to run a 36 out. We already know how to approach a client. Today's approach is we're going to approach 2 via text. Oh, I've never done a text. Okay. Even if you have, that's okay. It's blocking and tackling. It's keeping the basics going. Right. So that's number one. Number two, forgive yourself. Yes. And I agree with that 100%, but also as Ellen said yesterday, what must change? So forgive, but what must change so that we don't have to forgive ourselves tomorrow for not doing it today? And what must change? And what we find is most people have a fear. I just happen to have this right here. The most people have a fear of one of 8 things. And so they keep forgiving themselves, but they don't solve the fears. Hang on. Bear with me right now. I got the DAC local list here. I got the 8 fears. I was just looking at it. Okay. I'm going to say these real quick. And fear 1, they don't believe they know enough yet. So they have a fear of getting stumped. So they're not talking to people because they don't feel, okay, then get to know what you need to know to give yourself the belief that you know enough. Get certified again, watch this stuff again, role play again, do that thing. So don't forgive yourself to not approach people if you're not working on the process of overcoming that fear of being stumped by gaining knowledge. If that's what it is, call and role play with someone, role play with ChatGPT, get the questions, make sure you don't get stumped. That's number 1. Number 2, the fear of judgment, of rejection. They think they're going to be judged or rejected by that business owner, especially in their warm market. Well, so we got to reframe that. That's not rejection. That's no interest is fine. But I didn't go to med school. U of M's got one of the best med schools. I chose the business school. I didn't choose engineering, which was ranked number 1 in the country at the time. Did I reject engineering school? No, I went with my preference. Some people you approach, it's not your job to make sure they take funding. It's your job to make sure they're educated, that we exist. And if they're okay with not knowing, that's okay. We don't hound them with it. We just kind of slough softly over time. And it's also your job to find out more about their business to refer them to others, right? So fear of judgment or rejection. So forgive yourself if you have that fear. But don't forgive yourself if today you don't do anything about overcoming that fear. So let's just get to the root. Get to the root. Jesus said, I came not with peace, but with a sword. Now he brings peace, but he came with a sword to cut right to the heart of the root of the action, that you can't have ultimate happiness and you can't have ultimate moral compass according to God, or Jesus doesn't have to come. all Muslim faith, Jewish faith, they all believe that a savior has to come. They're all God of Abraham. They all believe that. Christians just believe Jesus was the man. Jews don't believe that he was the man yet. Muslims don't believe he was the man. There's someone else is going to come, right? I happen to believe he was the man. He was the savior. But the point is, they wouldn't say he has to come one day if we're all able to be perfect. So don't forgive ourselves for not doing it. Get to the root. Why aren't we doing it? Forgive yourself for not doing it yesterday, but then solve what we need to do today so that we don't have to forgive ourselves tomorrow because we're still fear. They don't know what to say. They freeze, don't know what to say. Okay, well, that we solve in the training and again, role play. They don't think it's a real job yet. Well, this isn't a real job. This is business ownership. So they don't think it's a real opportunity, like legit. It's just a thing. It's a hobby. It's a book club that I can and can't go to. I don't have to go. I can go. It's not a real thing. Dude, listen. This is $1 billion company in the making. There'll be brokers who make $1 million, but only those who say this is $1 billion company in the making, and I can make millions in this business by building the biggest agency in the country. Even if I just have the big agency in my state, I'll make $500,000 a year. I need to build a strong agency. I can be a super broker, yes, and take care of my time. I can be a team builder, yes, or I can be an agency builder and have a lot of local leaders and make an impact and serve businesses all over the country and leave something to my friends and my family. I can donate. I can make more money than I need. Okay. It's all what you believe. So is it real? I don't know if it's real for you, but it's real for me. They feel like they're selling something. Why do I say educate instead of sell? Because that's the biggest fear. Nobody wants to be a salesperson. Nobody does. Even salespeople are like, yeah, it sucks, but it pays well. Someone who's closing people. Oh, dude, I hammered that one home. Oh, I hammered them. I knew exactly. They told me this. I related with them. I identified with their situation. I then solved it, and then I hit them hard and challenged them like, you going to keep allowing that in your life, or are you going to make a change? And I hit them, man, and they said yes. And I got that sale. They registered for the training. They bought the thing. They filled out the app. Yeah, I got them. Nobody wants to do that. Are you kidding me? That's childhood. The only one doing that, they're under 30 or they're an arrogant individual who's just trying to take from people. They're takers, not givers. Let them take. Warn against them. Be different. You're not selling anything. You're educating and serving, which solves a need to the business owners. And when it solves a need, they move forward. So you're afraid of selling? I'm afraid of selling too. I'd never sell. You kidding me? I don't want to sell. So reframe. We're on a mission. We're not on a commission. We're on the Great Commission. We're not out to earn a commission. We're on the Great Commission of living by our mission of impacting and educating, and we'll make the commissions. Or they assume people won't be interested and they're waiting for perfect conditions. Those are the last two. Those are the top fears of why they're waiting for perfect conditions, or they think people won't be interested. Some people won't be interested. That's okay. The conditions will never be perfect. So that's a perspective as well. If you want, I'm only going to approach that business when they're not open. Okay. How are you going to reach them? I'm only going to approach that business when they're not busy. Okay. Well, if they're not busy and they never have an opportunity, do they do any revenue? Right. It's always going to be an interruption. But when the interruption is one of caring, like that salesperson for the home development company I know who gets double the signing rate, doesn't go in to sell. He goes in to serve that client with comfort and calm about the company and about them. And I got your back and I'll hold your hand through all this. I'm not in it just to get you to sign and then you'll never see me again. I'm going to be with you through the whole process. I want to make sure you're extremely comfortable with everything I say. I'll be here when they're installing. I'll check in on it when you're there. It's a different type guy than an order taker. And it's the same thing with this. It's never a perfect time, but it's always the best time to be a great neighbor. And they assume people won't be interested. Yeah, of course people are going to be interested, but that's not why you stop. They don't need anything today. You can't get me to take business funding. I don't need it right now, but there was a time I needed it. Hey, you never know. Maybe we will need it one day as we start expanding and booming. Maybe we'll outgrow the capital of our company. Maybe it'll outgrow our bank accounts. Maybe it'll outgrow our savings and our profitability. Maybe we've got some big things to open up Europe and other things in Australia and other markets where we need, $400 million or something to do. And we become like an Amazon or a Rocket Mortgage, and they went public for a reason, to raise a bunch of money to do all this expansion they're doing, right? Maybe we'll do that one day and we'll need funding. Right now, we don't need it, but I love the idea of leverage. So should you. So if those are the fears, forgive yourself for having them, but don't forgive yourself or forgive yourself for having the fear, but then take a process today and work on that process so that you don't have that fear in the future. And most of it is perspective, not reality. False expectations appear real. I don't even say evidence. I've heard the slogan. I'm ending with this: false evidence appearing real. I don't believe that. It's usually not evidence. I say it's false expectations. Most people never see the evidence. They never even had the call. They never even had the conversation. They expected something, so they had a false expectation. It appeared real, so they didn't do it. That's what I've always taught, because that's what I lived. I lived false expectations, not false experiences. I didn't have the experience. When you have the experience, you realize, oh, it's not what I thought. Well, then it's no longer, you can't have experience. You can't have experience and fear at the same time. So if you do, it takes away your fear, because you realize the experience isn't anything like it. You don't have a false expectation anymore or false experience. You have a real experience, and the real experience isn't scary. So false expectations, you got an expectation. They're going to think this, they're going to think that. Every one of these was a imaginary fear. It's all imaginary. It's an expectation, and it appears real. So let's get rid of the imagination that's hurting us, and let's get let's use bricks to build our bridge to success rather than bricks to build walls around us going for it. All right. I've gone a long time, but it's all valuable information. Thanks for all the sharing, everyone. I think there's one more hand up, so I'll let you guys
We
go.
got Cynthia. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Mute. I'm so thankful for this, especially this past week. I mean, like I've said over and over through the year, or years, I've always been learning a lot, but never have been able to apply it like I have in this past week. And
Boom! That's awesome.
And first, that really just hit me on the head was when Ellen said, recognize those past successes, no matter, and if she applied it to this past year, but I had to go back, like I've said before. And when I was a teenager, I was a singer and was able to be part of a trio that we could do a whole concert. And I had courage then, even when my two other singers froze, and I had to keep singing because I had the main part. And I was able to conquer that. And I've been so afraid of getting in front of people and doing anything to be a leader. And then one of the issues, and then the other one was, as when we were married, was hospitality was something we just loved doing. We had big, huge Super Bowls, and nothing fancy or anything like that. It was just people getting together and enjoying each other. And then Nick gave me some questions that I could put right in front of somebody if I couldn't think of something to say. And then Ellen followed up on her thing. What caused you to stop those successes, and how can you change? And I realized that, and then today when Matt was, or when, now I can't remember who said what. Matt, oh yeah, he said, forgive yourself for things you haven't done, which is tons of stuff. And then you, Dave, I was going to call you Pastor Dave. You mentioned that to focus on the small area you're in instead of the big. I've been so overwhelmed by needing to be a leader in a big area. And I'm like, I start shaking, and I realized how you presented it today, that I can focus on my small area. I can also encourage people to start in their small areas, which can expand the area, but it's not up to me. And then I started realizing when I was looking at that success of hospitality, I've been afraid of having anybody as a team member because I don't feel like I'm a leader. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, but I can just invite them over to have an encouraging time together. I don't have to be the teacher. I can just encourage each other with caring and encouragement and just be together. And the rest will take care of itself. And all the training and leadership should come anyway from DAC because then it's totally accurate. So anyway, I'm just so excited on how God has connected the dots. And I'm praying that he will help me to continue in this, but it's totally flipped everything in how I am thinking about and trying to approach doing this business. So thank
Love
you.
it.
And everybody on here, when they've encouraged by hearts and prayers and stuff, it really has made a huge difference in my life. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And you shared you're in your 70s and you lost your husband and you're here in your purpose. And many of you are on the huddle. You knew this. Purpose, you want to be a great housewife and homemaker. And after your husband died, you feel a sense of purpose gone. I hear in your voice a purpose. I hear in your voice your local market. What a breakdown of breakthroughs. She mentioned everyone. How is she listening to the huddles? She's like taking the huddles and applying them, running the plays. That was just, Cindy, that was awesome. I really appreciate you sharing and sharing your breakthroughs. Just beautiful. And by the way, everyone, your local market starts right in your phone. Your phone already has a bunch of business owners, that's your first local market right in your town, right there. You know them all. Your local market is your warm market and your local market. So great job. Great information. That warmed my heart. Thank you so much. Inspiring. And I think we're done. Is that right, McGuire? I think we're done. Maybe McGuire is no longer here. I'll just bring us home then. I will say to everybody, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully if you didn't get this all, go watch it on recording. The good thing about YouTube, you can put it on 2.0 speed and you can get it through it quicker, or 1.5 speed, and you can rewind, you can download transcripts, you can do all kinds of stuff to get value from this. And I just tell you, Matthew did a great job. You knocked the cover off the ball in the huddle, and great contributions to everybody. And you see how that last testimonial just shows what Harlequin speaks to about a little bit of growth every day, what that can be. She went through big growth. So don't overcomplicate. Keep growing. Appreciate you all. Let's go out there and help some businesses this week. Let's go help some people become brokers this week. There's people who need to be on this family. There's people who need this opportunity. There's people who would be great DAC brokers and would love to lead agencies. It's time to call them. It's time to reach out to them. At least one a day. Reach out and ask if you can help build your team with you. If they want to check out being a business funding certified broker here, leading their local market, no competition. Come alongside and assist the banks, and the banks assist you. You don't compete with the banks. They're your friends. You become friendly to them. You're helping raise their deposits. So you're looking for brokers who want to do that. Have them watch the funding, have them watch your business overview page, have them get started, have them get certified, funding training, camp plan training, game plan.